Ryan has an unusual question for Cora over at Pitt and Frank. Apparently a problem, and she's asking, or Ryan is asking in this email, he says that we bought a home about 8 months ago and specifically asked the agent if someone ever died in the home. And they said, yes, natural causes. But they've now come out, Ryan has learned from, I guess, family and maybe neighbors that the agent, or maybe who it was, the seller, lied. It was actually a murder. So Ryan is asking, can he go after the former owner for misinformation? This is a rather sensitive question. Cora, what are your thoughts?
Sure. And it's an interesting one. Just to back up and lay a foundation here, I think we covered this in previous shows, but unless asked in Kentucky, you don't have to provide that information. Now, in this instance, it certainly was asked, so therefore it should be disclosed. And they did disclose that there was a death on the property, but maybe they should have ended at that, right? Like loose lips sink ships. And by continuing on by saying, and yes, of natural causes, this seems like that generated the problem, because when in fact that wasn't the case. So the next question then becomes, was this intentional? Could you claim a fraud, in which case the E&O would not cover the agent in that type of instance? Or was it just, maybe it was a couple of former owners ago where this death occurred, and maybe just by rumor mill or what have you, or maybe the seller actually told this agent that it was natural causes. Mm-hmm. So, just doing some research there and some fact checking, but it doesn't change the fact that the buyer may be upset because this murder instead of a natural cause, did this create that stigma on the property? And so I think that's what concerns a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Isn't necessarily did someone die or not, but instead, is this property stigmatized? Does it affect the marketability or the future marketability of the property? If it was some horrendous murder that maybe there was a TV movie made on in the 90s, and suddenly now I'm going to have to take a loss when I sell this because nobody wants to live in it. So I think that could give rise to a potential claim for damages. But at the end of the day, you can sue anybody for a ham sandwich. But the question is, how had they been harmed because of it? And if it was a marketability issue, maybe that would be a claim.
Yes, we are living in a litigious society. Are you thinking of the same home? This is not that same home, but are we thinking, because there was a book written about this, and and it did have a stigma attached to it, and for an extended period of time.
Yes,
and
the
word wasn't the word blue somewhere within this. I'm trying to remember what the book's name was, but
I thought it was bitter.
Maybe it was better. Oh, bitter. Okay. Yes. So yeah, folks, it does happen, and we wish you the very best on this, Ryan. I know this is tough.
Yeah. I want to ask a question about that. Yeah. How many stigmatized properties are there out there, Cora? I mean, we just inspected one here a few weeks ago. A very let me just stop and say it was a majestic home, but also one of those kind of infamous, kind of murder halls that took place. I mean, are there a lot of those around?
There's a fair share. I mean, certainly there are books written, history books on the city of Louisville and certain homes that may be known for those types of incidents, murder, suicide, et cetera, and a Google search. But I think a lot of home buyers do actually Google the address even before they write offers on it, and the owners. I'm not saying that's a good idea at all, but oftentimes if there was a crime that took place on the property, that might pop up in an internet search. But I would gamble to say that there's quite a few, Brad, especially because we've got such rich history here in Louisville. We've got a lot of homes that have been around for 100+ years. So that's just, opportunity for life to happen.
Well, yeah, no kidding. We alerted our inspectors about what had gone on in this property, so that there weren't any surprises. One of them did.
This isn't the one where you found ghosts, was it?
No, I was just going to ask. This is not the ghost house. This one, not the ghost house.
Were your inspectors looking for ghosts at any point?
They were. I had one that was a bit jumpy when the basement lights got turned off on him.
Wow!
Now he had flashlights and all.
Absolutely, Brad.
But he did not like that.
Hold the cards to your chest. Make everyone reach out to you to find out that story. Make them call the
right. Oh, about the ghosts? Oh, yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard you had a wand detector for that to see, straight from Ghostbusters.
Well, those we will refer those calls to Ghostbusters. But I have the pictures from that.
Well, this is the city of Waverly Hills, after all, so we are quite fascinated.
We are moving on, folks.